Welcome to Beyond the Box Score. I'm Coach Corey. We have Coach Smith, and we have a special guest, Elena, and we're gonna get inside the brains of her brains, and we're gonna just try to figure out and just talk basketball.
We about to talk basketball. We are so glad to have you on
Thank you.
PG at Little Rock, Arkansas.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Welcome to Beyond the Box Score. You know, we on here we like to talk basketball. We like to get inside young hoopers' head. We like to give back to the community and let young hoopers know like what it is to really expect at the next level. And so before we get into all of that good stuff, because I know your journey is beautiful. Because side note, folks, I had the pleasure to coach Elena.
Yeah.
So with that being said, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us your why. Tell us who you are. Let the people know who you are.
Just a little bit about me. I'm a starting point guard here at Little Rock, but before that, I played at the JUCO level and also the HBCU level. I played at Morgan State University in Baltimore, and then after that, I transferred into McLennan. Currently, I'm studying communications, also with another double majoring with business information systems. So I'm really into tech, and I'm also into communicating. So I can't wait to see like how that takes me in terms of my next steps following my senior year. I'm currently chasing a championship with my teammates, and I think we have a really good chance at getting it. So hopefully I can come back and tell you guys about how I won the championship later. So
That'll be dope.
That will be dope. Because you did win at McLennan, right?
I did.
Yeah. She's a winner. She's a winner. Man, you doing some amazing things. Double major in communications. Like, talk a little bit about that. Like, talk to student athletes about the importance on balancing out your scheduling and then practice and things like that. I didn't know you were double majoring. That's pretty dope. I always knew you were smart though.
No, it's really big. I can say my freshman year, I really struggled with time management and just kind of understanding when to do my homework, when to set that time aside to ask for help and even tutoring. I will say like tutoring was kind of like a taboo for me. I really didn't want to do tutoring because I thought I was going to be like weak or that I needed help or that I was dumb. But, having this other major, which is like information systems, was basically just kind of like tech and coding and things like that. It's really easy to get lost. So asking for help is something that I really learned along the way. And I think that's something that children should, or not children, but young adults and young athletes should be not afraid to do or ask for.
That's real. Because asking for help is kind of hard. It is
Mhm.
hard. So what challenge did you run into that you needed to have like that made you like man, I need to start asking for help. Like this is something that I gotta do.
I will say at my first school, I met a teacher. He was teaching, I want to say, some type of engineering class, something like that. And I was completely lost during the class. Like, I would go to class, I'm taking the notes, I'm going home, I'm reading them. I'm like, I don't know what's on this paper. And it's like, midterms. I'm like, I'm finna fail. Like, I don't know what's going on. So I went to his classroom and I'm like, hey, like, I'm kind of struggling. He was like, I was waiting on you to ask me that. Like, you're turning into work. He was like, you turning into work. I see you kind of got it, but something's off. So asking him and then him being like so receptive and so honest and open and just being able to help me really showed me that networking is important and just having that resource to really just help you help yourself. And I can say that's really what kind of just opened the door for me being able to be like, hey, like, I need some help.
Man, that's real. That's some
Mhm.
real nuggets, folks. Ask for help. It is okay. Man, that's pretty dope. All right, so real quick, I got a real quick fun question for you. Pre-game, are you listening to music or are you not listening to music?
It depends. I try not to be superstitious. So if we won the last game and I listened to, a song by Lil Baby and a song by Drake, I'm playing them exact same songs for the next game. So typically I do tend to listen to music and take a nap. I always have to make time for a nap.
Bro, naps? Oh my God.
They're important, man.
They are.
Super.
You think so? You think naps are important?
Yes, like I would say on we have Thursday and Saturday games. So on Thursday, our game is at 5. And on Saturday our game is at 1. So it's a big difference between a 2-hour nap and a 1-hour nap. So it's
No,
important.
that's real. That's real. Okay. So before we get into more details about you, have you always played point guard?
Actually, I started out as shooting guard, and I kind of had a knack for like passing and reading defenses. And then I'm like so driven that I always want to be a leader. I always want to be at the front. I want to be the forefront and kind of like tell people what to do. And I kind of just naturally shifted over into the point guard stance. But that wasn't until I would say like sophomore year of high school until.
Okay, PG, the real PG on here. So how did you fall in love with basketball?
I want to say just getting outside and playing in my neighborhood. It was a lot of children, and I had a basketball goal, and we would kind of just roll it out into the street, and I would always beat the boys, and I'm like, this is something I can do. And my dad played sports, and he was real big on teaching me how to play, and I kind of just fell in love through that process throughout.
Are you still in love with it?
Mhm.
It's good because you gotta be in love with it to do what you do, right?
You do.
Why you say that?
I
Why you?
mean, summer conditioning, like you can't do that out of just liking the sport. Like that can really, really drain you, or losing games, like that can really drain you. So you really have to like find the love and passion to push you through like adversity throughout the sport for sure.
That's real. That's real. What's one thing people assume um about the next level you think? Like so going from JUCO to Division 1, like what was one of the difference? Like what was the difference in between the games that you saw?
I want to say it's just like understanding different systems. Like at McLennan, we were more so kind of like on ball screens, fast pace, and here we're kind of like set up down screens, a little slower pace. So it's really just taking the time to understand like the system that you're in and how you can benefit and find your role and fit and be successful in whatever that is.
That's key. Find your role. We just did an episode about role players. How important do you think, since you brought it up, how important do you think role players are?
I think they're super important. Just having a like consistent player that does exactly what they need to do that you can just count on and like always know like this is what's gonna be provided during the game is super important.
Absolutely. You gotta have your role players. You can't win without them. All right. So, who would you be without basketball?
That's a good question. I think I would just be myself. I always have like other hobbies and things that I like to do. I feel like I would probably lean more towards like gardening or books or something of that sort if I wasn't playing this sport. But I always try to make myself well rounded. So
Guardian?
yes, I love plants. I actually
What
have
make
some.
what makes you love plants?
Well, they're actually really relaxing and they're something that you can interact with and then reap the benefits of that interaction. So being able to like, plant tomatoes and stuff like that and then come around spring, you can eat them, put them in salads and stuff like that. Like I really enjoy stuff like that.
Huh. I like
All right, so let's talk about a little bit more about your player journey. Let's go deeper into that. Let's start in middle school. Since you say you played out in the park, like starting from middle school up into high school, like what led you to make you think you wanted to play Division 1 basketball?
So that's a good question. I want to say in middle school, I had it pretty easy. We went undefeated, never lost. It was, so much fun. I was like, oh, I'm pretty good at this. Like, I'm gonna go to high school. Transferred to high school, and I got to be on varsity my freshman year. Fought for a starting spot maybe towards like the middle of the season, and kind of just really realized like this is something I could be successful at if I keep, putting the work and effort in towards it. I want to say maybe sophomore year AAU, I started figuring out like, the AAU cycle, like EYBL and top teams and college coaches and maneuvering those relationships. And then I realized like going to college with basketball can help me stay debt free and stuff like that. So I was like, this may be something that I want to do. But I realized pretty young that basketball was something I wanted to do. And then in high school kind of just helped solidify like I was good enough to be able to do it.
So in middle school, did you start taking it serious then, would you say? Like, or did you start taking it more serious in high school?
I'll say I probably started taking it more serious in high school. Middle school, it was fun. I was shooting half court shots at the second quarter, so I was not taking it serious at all. But high school is when I was like, okay, this is when I can start talking to scouts and gain relationships that can maybe lead to.
whoa.
I'm telling you, we won them games by 40 points, so I was out there doing whatever I could do.
So y'all was cold.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
Okay, so then when you realize, okay, I want to take this serious, this is what I want to do. Talk about a little bit about your mindset. Like what mindset do you have to have like to compete at those levels, like with the EBYL and all that, and also too, who did you play with in the summer?
So I was one of those kids that played with multiple teams. I played with Texas Elite, I played with Cypher, and then ultimately I ended with Pro Skills. And they all kind of taught me something different within each program. I will say kind of Pro Skills focus more on like skill based and really focusing in on your position and how you can be the best at that. And I really think that's what kind of like led me to being successful at college. But all the teams played a big part in who I am.
That's real. That is real. So the biggest thing you wish you knew at 13, since you was shooting half court shots.
At 13, Maybe to get a left hand. I didn't have a left hand till high school, so I learned real quick my freshman year. They started playing me to the left, and I could not do nothing. So if you said if I was 13, I would be like, let me develop both hands so I could be more of a threat.
The left hand is important because a lot of people can't go left unless they're lefty.
Yeah.
Can you go left, Corey?
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I do it all.
He a trainer. He got to.
Hey,
What do you think is one mistake every high school player makes, or what would be one of the biggest mistakes you think that you've made?
In high school?
Yeah, that is a long time ago, huh? Because you is kind of
Yeah, I'm almost 10 years out. No, I'm just kidding.
girl, you like that. Well, I don't know though, because now in college you can be that old and play. You can see these people
You sure
going
can.
in the NBA and then coming back to college.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's a story for another day, folks. But yeah, so what's one? What do you think? What's one mistake that you think every high school player possibly make, or what was one that possibly you made that you would like to share?
I will say for me, like in high school, defense really wasn't like a big thing for me. And more so when I was working in the gym, it was more so like, ball handling, shooting. And I know it's kind of hard to work on defense by yourself, but like a little defensive slide here and there, or just like acceleration drills can really help. I'll say that my conference was kind of weak, so I didn't have to play defense, but going into like, AAU and playing those girls who are good, like that really can help make you stand out in terms of recruitment. And I know it's pretty hard now as a high schooler to even get recruited. So having just both sides of the ball is super important.
Why you say it's super hard to get recruited as a high schooler?
Dude, I mean, like you have the transfer portal, you have JUCO, you have like, money now that's being included, and you're in high school, so you really don't have no experience to like, bank off of. And junior colleges can also recruit from higher colleges, so I understand that it's entirely different than what it
It
was
is.
when I was back in the day.
Now you say like you was old back in the day, but it is. It's crazy how quick things change. It is extremely different. So one of the things I guess you would say is defense makes you stand out. You play defense now?
I had to. I
you
had
said
to. No,
no, especially and play defense.
it was a long way coming.
It's a long way coming. It was a long coming, but she got it. She had Little Rock.
Yeah,
She had Little Rock, you know.
Little Rock is big on defense here. Like you can't touch the court without playing defense. And I want to say, just to my own horn, I be having the hardest matchups now, so my defense has to be worth a dollar. So would most point guards have to have the toughest assignment? I don't think most of them do, but I think it's kind of like respect and honor. Like if you are being able to lock up another point guard and not having to be hidden on defense. That's real. That's real. Because I'm right here. 94 feet, baby. 94 feet. Y'all guard 94 feet? Yeah. Yeah, that's what's got to. Got to.
You ever got your ankles took?
I got them took. I ain't gonna lie, I got them took maybe when I was like middle school. AAU. I was out there messing around, met the right one. Give me what it is. Tween cross. I remember it was tween and a mean snatch. And I was just on the ground. Next play I got up, got to the ball, and I hit like a behind the back layup with a finish on her.
Oh,
I never from that, yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about that. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, like, what habits have you instilled in yourself that's helps you separate from other players?
Just like the discipline, like getting up every day and just putting up maybe like 100 shots, just small things like that. Recovery is really big. I think that's kind of what separates you from the other players, especially having like a schedule where you play 2 games a week. Being able to come out and maybe be as close to 100% as possible is kind of what really separates you. So just having that recovery and just that continuous, even small, simple workout that you can do every day to kind of just help you stay in the rhythm.
So take us through a light day of a small recovery day for you.
For me, so I hate the ice bath. That's like my last resort if I'm sore, if I'm feeling down. So I try to get the gun. We have those boots that kind of like fill up your legs and apply pressure to them. And then a nice little rollout and some stretching, some deep stretching. But if I'm down bad, I'm getting in an ice bath for 15 minutes as well with those little regimens.
She get in the ice bath when it's bad.
When it's like, all right, can't take it.
Ice bath. These two.
So speaking of ice baths, what's the toughest practice you think you've ever had at Little Rock and McLennan? And what high school you go to? Tell the folks what high school you went to. Actually, where you from?
Fort Worth. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, and I attended North Crowley High School. NC for state.
They killing it right now. Shout out to North Crowley. They
Yeah.
tough. It's that PT.
Yeah, she's
She
so
like she's so tough. She's so tough. So all right. So take us through the toughest, one of your toughest practices of your life. You think?
of my life. I can give you one here and like one at
Okay.
McClendon.
At McClendon.
Yeah, y'all was crazy. Here, I want to say we had went to the weight room, and our strength and conditioning man, he's so strict. We can have music playing, but he don't want us like singing and dancing and all that. A new song came out. You know,
That's
we
torture.
still we bench pressing, but he don't want us to like be singing while we bench pressing. And I guess we just caught him on the worst day, so he kicked us out. So we're like, okay, whatever. We finna, just go to the locker room, sit down. Hopefully the coaches come in and just yell at us, and then we get to, go back to practice. No, we got on that line, and we ran for like 2 hours straight, just different type of running drills. Then we had a mile, bleachers, stairs. So I was exhausted. We didn't even see a basketball. At McLennan, I just remember that day. I want to say we had to make like 10 free throws out of 12, and we kept missing, and we didn't make the goal. And Coach Thomas made us run 17s every time we didn't make it. And we didn't make that goal like 4 times. And I wasn't the type to talk, but like after the third one, I'm like, all right, y'all, come on, give you 2 free throws. Let's make these free throws so we can get up out of here. But I tell my teammates about that now, like they don't understand what it is to make free throws and have to run the 17 after because we didn't make the goal.
Period. Thanks for the reminder. I'm gonna tell Coach T about it. Maybe we need
Don't
to
put
get
that.
back to that.
Don't put that.
Atlanta reminded me. But no, free throws are free, man. You gotta make them. Point blank. So you don't like to run, is what I heard.
Not for fun or not if I don't have to. Not at
Okay.
all.
Have you ever had a moment in basketball where you feel like you almost like you wanted to quit? Like it's just like, yeah, like this too much. Like I'm not with it. Like, have you ever had that moment in your journey? And if so, talk to people who could possibly be, in that moment right now.
I actually did quit. Like I'm not gonna lie, I did. So on my freshman year of college, I was at a HBCU. I was far, maybe 20 hours from home, no car. I'm in Baltimore, which is kind of like a dangerous city. It was just not good all around. And just being in that program and like how they ran the program just really didn't sit well with my spirit. And I was like, maybe like basketball isn't for me. I took the whole year off. Like I took the year off. And I really took time to just understand like what basketball was for me and like what it did for me. And then I came back to it on my own terms. But I will say like having that experience, like to be able to face that adversity and then kind of fight back really kind of just helped me out. So if you are, close to quitting, just talking to yourself and reminding yourself why it is you play basketball and what it is you do basketball for can really just overcome all those struggles.
That's real.
That kind of just goes back to when you said you was just rolling out the basketball court, just hooping. At that
Mhm.
time when y'all was just rolling it out, did you ever think that you would be who you are today?
Not at all. Not at all. At that time, I'm just like, okay, let's see if we can get to the first game. Like, who can win first? Like, we used to play 21. I don't know if y'all probably know what that is. Like, so that's what I was focused on. But no, I never really thought that I would get this far. But I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
Why are you so glad you did? What kind of benefits are you experiencing because you decided to persevere and to push through and to come back to the game?
Just to do things like this, like to be able to talk to people and like, maybe inspire some other people, or even when my teammates are going through something, like I can be like, hey, like this happened to me, like it's okay. And then they have like an actual example like they can see in real life and be like, okay. And then, also just to go back to no debt. I have no debt and I'm so glad for that. So just like small little things like that.
That's beautiful. No debt, like no debt. Like that's because I'm mad that I went back to school to get that. So I definitely understand it. So while you still playing, if you can get your masters, do that too. If they gonna play for it, okay, do that. So okay, so let's talk a little bit about I guess the culture of a Division 1 athlete being a basketball player. What is that like? What is the culture of being a Division 1 uh, athlete at Little Rock? What is that like? What is it like to be on campus? What is the life like at Little Rock?
At Little Rock, I would say it's pretty chill. We kind of just have like a standard here. Like everyone goes to class, everyone gets grade checks. So you kind of just like are aware of what that standard is. If you have study hall, you get it done. There's really no kind of like setbacks. Recovery is always there. Like we always have like people that are there to help you and put in place to help you. So if that's with academics or sports or anything like that, and your assistant coaches are always available. So that's kind of the culture they just created here. That it's like a family environment, and whoever you need, like there's someone you can reach out to get those problem solved.
So before Little Rock, you played and you traveled. What was the first school that you committed to? What school was that?
It was Morgan State University. It's in Baltimore.
In Baltimore. And from there you went JUCO,
Correct.
and then now you're at where you are now.
Mhm.
What made you pick your first school out of how many schools recruiting you at the time?
I actually don't know. I will say it was a big thing in my town to, like, go to HBCU and play for, like, a historically Black college and just be
Yeah.
part of something special, and at the time, the school that I was committed to, they were doing it pretty well, and they typically, like, make the tournament, so I was just trying to go be a part of something like that, but I got up there and noticed real quick that I don't think
Wasn't it?
I'm a good fit for that.
How many offers did you have after your senior year?
Mm, I had quite a few. I'll say, like, ballpark maybe, like, 10-ish.
Yeah. All different levels?
I wanna say more than half were D1, and then maybe a couple were D2, and then maybe, like, 1 JUCO, but they kinda just came with time.
Time kind of progressed.
Mhm.
Then you went to over there with Coach Smith?
Yeah, so I'm glad we crossed paths.
Yeah.
Such a light.
Yeah, yeah. And then from there, now you are where you're at. You seem like you went through a really like a journey. And a lot of kids would not or players would not have done that.
Mhm.
So what was making you just like keep on pushing through?
Well, I will say, like, McLennan did a really big number on me. I was kinda just, like, lost confidence, and I was able to go to that program and really just find myself again and fit into a system that was winning, but also being something that I was a part of that kinda showed me, like, okay, you can be a guard, like, you can represent a team that is ranked nationally ranked and help them achieve goals, and that really just kinda showed me that I can still be productive wherever I was.
Yeah. Then one more question just off of what you said earlier. You said that you were a shooting guard first, and then you transitioned into a point guard. Who put you at the shooting guard position? If you always knew like you wanted to be a leader, you was very vocal, and you kind of wanted to be that type of player. Who made you a shooting guard first?
So my dad, generally he was a shooting guard, so that's what he knew. And I kind of realized like shooting guards are like oversaturated. Like it's so many shooting guards. You play against so many, and really the only thing that really can separate you is maybe your 3-point percentage and if you play defense. But being a point guard, you're like, can I see the floor? Can I read defenses? You typically don't have to score, but that also adds you up another level. So it was the only right decision for me if I wanted to make myself stand out.
Like, that's very smart, and I think that would help a lot of players because players now are talking about they want to be combo guards, they want to be shooters. But if you
Mhm,
put yourself in an elite category with a smaller pool of players, it
mhm.
helps you stand out amongst the other ones. But the trick to it is what I keep hearing you say: you got to be able to read the defense.
Yeah.
Take studying and film studies and critiquing yourself and having somebody that can actually break that down. So being a point guard, like what is like the I guess like the 3 main things that make you say that you're a PG?
Good question.
Yeah. I wanna say, like, of course, passing, that's, like, the most basic thing. You think of point guards, you think of great passers, but also just understanding pace. I wanna say, like, playing with my teammates now, like, it's a big difference on them understanding pace and then me as a point guard understanding pace, because you really set it, and then just kinda, like, I wanna say, like, leadership, having to know all the plays, having to understand the plays, having to be able to tell them the plays, but also taking the blame for if something goes wrong or, being there if something goes right, so those are 3 big things that really come with being a point guard.
Yeah. If you got a shooter that just hit 2 threes, but you're wide open for a 3, are you shooting it or are you gonna try to find the hot hand?
I wanna say I was I wanna say I was shooting, but no, I'm gonna try to dribble to her man because at this point, they gonna be all up on her. Imma try to dribble to her direction and get her man to help off a little bit so I can dish it to her so she can shoot the ball. The high hand matters.
The hot hand matters. Say that again, PG. That's real. That's real because a lot of kids don't, or a lot of players don't understand. Okay, this kid or my teammate just hit two. I finna ride this dead horse until it's dead. Or what is it? I finna ride whatever. But we finna
Something like that.
yeah. But like you gotta fight like the hot that is real, the hot hands. And I think that's a skill. Like that's a skill of like you saying of having pace and knowing pace of the game. That's tough. So when
Right.
did you learn that lesson? When did you
What,
learn
finding the
like
high
like when did you learn about pacing and getting others involved?
I wanna say, like, I always knew about it, but I don't think I really took that into fruition until I went to McLennan and y'all were like, "You need to go faster. You need to speed up." So I was like, "You know what? You're right." And then I got here and I could realize like, okay, let me speed this game up or they getting tired and we not tired, so we could push it on them a little bit, or my team tired and the other team is kind of doing quick, so let me help them catch their breath and let's run some offense so that we can get, a quick little breather at least.
Yeah, that's different. That's a different mindset. So with that being said, what's one piece of advice that you would give a point guard, a high school point guard that's trying to be a collegiate point guard? What's one piece of advice or two pieces of advice that you would give them?
Scoring matters, but really just try to find like other things that can keep you on the court. Like I would say like for me, I'm starting to score the ball more, but rebounding is big. Like if you're a point guard that can go get some rebounds, like it's easy for you to get a quick little double double, and then you can stay on the court. Also, just like confidence, just having confidence, like being confident in your decision. Like I passed her because I know she can make a play, and being able to go to your coach and be like, "This is why I made this pass." So just having that confidence, and then just doing like small little things that keep you on the court.
Things that go on beyond the box score.
Mm-hmm.
That go on beyond the box score. It's the little things. It is the little things. Nah, that's real. Okay, we getting ready to wrap it up. But before we do, walk us through a day of a college athlete. Walk us through your typical day. What does that look like?
I want to say, so I can give you like my day from last semester. I would get up at like, well, on Mondays and Tuesdays or Mondays and Wednesdays, I would have class at 11 to 11:50, and that was one of my communications class. So I would go there. Typically, we were doing like speech preparation, so we had like a big speech we had to give at the end of the semester. So we were just working on things like that. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I would have a class at 9 to 10:50, and that was my computer class. So I would go in there and be bored, and then come back home and make sure I get something to eat because I know we finna go hard in practice. Practice is 3 hours, so we start with film, or no, we start with weights first, then we go to film, then we start the 3 hour practice. And typically we do like warm up drills, and then we split guards and posts, and then we do 5-on-5, 4-on-4, 3-on-3, things of that, and with some free throws. Then I would go home, go to the library, do some work, get some food, and do it all again the next day.
That's beautiful. 3 hour practice though. Talk to these high school players about a 3 hour college practice. Like, are you in tune the whole practice? Like, do you get time to sit down? Like, like, give them some nuggets on the college practice.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm in tune the whole practice, but by the time the 3 hour mark hit, you like, all right, let's wrap it up. Let's go home. Let's get these free throws started so I can go home. But typically, like, I'm pretty locked in, but it is long, but it's something you get accustomed to. I want to say like high school, we only practice for maybe like an hour. So transitioning from an hour to 3 is a lot, but it's not that bad. And then you have teammates there with you, so it helps.
What's your focus have to be like though?
Really locked in. I want to say during the season is really important, especially like scout. So with having a Thursday and Saturday game, you have like 3 days to prepare for one team and then one day to prepare for the next. So really focusing in and kind of just doing extra work on yourself on the side, like looking at, game film from the other people, or like taking time to watch the other team with that time that you have. So really just focusing on scout and just being prepared.
Wow,
Being
let's
prepared
see.
to scout film. I don't think no kids don't even understand how important that is.
No. And I like hate film because I hate to watch when I do like a turnover or something, but it's important. It is important.
Why is it important?
Just to see where you can like mess up. Like I would say, I watched film the other day of a girl. She was left-handed, and I let her go left, and I'm like, well, duh, she was gonna score. Like that's her, her strong hand. So we matched up with him again. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make sure like I cut her left hand off, and she literally had like 4 points. So it's really just big to see like those mistakes and like really recognizing people's strength so that you can be able to be the most successful that you can be.
You have to be very mature. From just listening to you kind of talk, like you can take criticism and you can actually like look at film and be like, this is where I screwed up at, and actually go back and be. And most kids, they watch film just to post some highlights on
The
Instagram.
highlights. Yeah,
Yeah,
now let me do a little step back three. That's getting posted on all these social medias.
logo, but you still dive in and look at your weaknesses too, though.
Hmm.
Solid.
That is. Okay, so beyond the box score, what is one thing in your game that is beyond the box score?
I want to say encouragement. I'll say like on the court, I'm real keen on noticing like if my teammates like, okay, I just missed 2 layups, her head down, now her matchup is scoring. I'm like, okay, look, you got it, let's pick it up, and they can really like feed off of that energy. So maybe just energy, maybe that's what I mean to say, just like having that energy that they can rely on and being a consistent person that has that energy to where you're like, okay, if she's feel like we got a chance and we still in the game and not just being able to give up because we're down or something like that.
So off of that, off being a point guard, can you ever have a bad practice or a bad game?
You can, but I'm not gonna lie and say like I ain't never had one. But you
Right.
can like tell the difference. Like if I'm down or if I'm like not all the way there, then like the team is like, oh, okay, like she don't gotta do it, so we don't gotta do it. So showing up with 100% is important. Like the team reads off of that, the team feeds off of that, and then your coaches kind of like are like, okay, if we have a leader on the court and everyone's going hard behind her, then it's important. But yeah, they really can't have a bad practice where the whole practice is bad in general.
Right, right, right. That's tough. You going into your senior year or you are a senior?
I am a senior, yes.
Are you gonna play another year? Yep.
I'm old, but I'll
Yeah,
think about it. We'll see.
yeah.
You have a year left?
Technically, if I petition and all that stuff for it,
I think you should.
Yeah, I think you should too.
I
I'll
think you
think
should.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pray about it.
That way I can come down to a game and check you out and see what this point PG really talking about.
Yeah, let's get in the gym.
Yeah, facts. Whenever
Sure.
you're down here, we can.
She loves to get in the gym. She do. She'll get in the gym and work. That's why she where she is now because she learned the value of work. And I'm so proud of you. And I really appreciate you for being on Beyond the Box Score. Before we close out, give high school players or maybe a college player that's struggling or maybe give us a lesson that basketball has taught you. Give the basketball community something about basketball beyond the box score or a lesson, whatever that looks like. Just drop us with a nugget.
Get um
Uh,
let's see. I know like a cheat code, I guess, for me is say I'm in a game and I have a turnover. Colleges are real big on like plus and minuses, and typically you want to be in the pluses. A turnover gives you -2. So an assist is a +2. So even if you make a turnover, I'm like, okay, let me go find a teammate that can make a layup so I can balance my score out. But just really like understanding that can just help you. So if you get like rebounds and things like that, it really helps up your score so that you're really contributing to the game. Points aren't everything. So don't be discouraged by that. I will say, like, for me, it took me a while to understand, like, you can score the ball, but it's also important to know that there are other things besides scoring, and you can be, you know, what am I trying to say?
You
You
can
can really
impact
up,
the
yeah, you
game.
can impact the game without just scoring the ball.
if you can explain what plus and minuses are, because I think everybody says it, but nobody really knows what it really means.
Yeah, so I want to say I really learned about that kind of when I got here. They do that for every practice. So say we're having like 5-on-5 in practice. If you get a rebound, that's like a +2 points. If you if you make a shot, that's +2. But if you miss a shot, that's -2. Threes are +2. Missed threes are -3. Assists are +2. Charges are +4. And these kind of just add up at the end of the game and kind of just shows like how productive you were or how unproductive you were. And in games is really important because, assists are worth 2 points. So if you impact the game positively, it kind of shows up through those numbers. And those numbers are what kind of helps you see like what it is that is making me impact this game like how I am. So turnovers are important. Like it can show how negatively it affected the game as well. So just little things like that.
Yeah. I was trying to explain some plus and minuses to some of my kids. And I was like, one of these players, they have not scored, but they was in the game the whole time. But
Hmm.
their pluses was so high, like you can't take them out because they were doing all the other little things that
Hmm.
nobody else sees. And they was like, well, they didn't score. Yeah, but they team won. Like because
Yeah.
of her impact.
Yeah, even here, like I would say, like one of my teammates, she's a great scorer, but you'll check her plus and minus, and sometimes it'll be negative, and it's because she just missed. Like, and
Yeah.
those add up. Like missed shots add up. So being smart with your shot decisions are important, but just finding other ways to impact the game. Like I said, rebounds are +2 points, and it's not that hard to just go down there and grab the ball and push it up the court. So just small things like that.
And last thing from me, and then we can really wrap it up.
Oh, you're good.
Is there any moment in your basketball journey that really just took you through a toll, like a place where it was like, man, this is tough. It's like one of the toughest moments in my life. And if it was, what made you overcome that?
I want to say like being in JUCO, and I'm not saying like going to McLennan in general, but I'm just saying like coming off of a year of not playing basketball, getting back adjusted to the system. I'm out of shape. I haven't touched the ball in like a year, so I'm not the player who I thought I was. So having to like get back to myself, and then like meeting people like Coach Smith and Coach Thomas who kind of like instill that faith in you, and then going through those workouts and like finding like okay, basketball is still cool. Like I can still grind and put the work in, but that whole like year was me like, man, like I can't even shoot a three. Like I could shoot a three back in high school, but I took so much time off that I wasn't able to be like the shooter I was. So just really that whole stint at JUCO is really important to my, basketball growth in general.
And what was your why for continuing?
Just for me, like I knew that I was better than, what happened at my HBCU. Like just to give you a little bit of insight, I just kind of didn't fit into the system, to be honest. I really didn't agree with the coaches on his, like, his decisions and play calls. So just really knowing that, like, I'm good enough, like, I just believed that I was good enough and able to be a Division I point guard and lead a team, and just kind of that faith and belief kind of carried me through.
You have to bet on yourself.
Mhm.
JUCO is all about betting on yourself. Would you say that?
I agree. Yeah, it is.
Man, talk a little. Man, you gotta give some JUCO nuggets, man. Like, talk a little bit about JUCO. Give JUCO some love, because kids be thinking that JUCO is just some boo league.
I thought that too, like, in high school. I'm like, "Oh, I'm not going to JUCO," like, but when you get there, like, it's so important, and I would say, like, for me, my JUCO journey was really just, like, if I could sum it up in one word, it would just be opportunity. I wouldn't say, like, I started on the bench, you know what I'm saying, and I kinda just worked my way up and found those opportunities and where I could come in the game and be impactful, and I really went maybe, like, the whole season without kinda, like, talking to college coaches, and I would say I had one breakout game, and I was at the right place at the right time, doing the right things, and that's kinda what opened up the door for me. So just really being able to take advantage of those opportunities and being prepared for when the opportunity, provides
Mm,
us.
Being prepared for the
mm,
opportunity. And that goes back to your habits.
Mhm.
And it goes back to your habits. I mean, your story, your journey is so beautiful, because so many people could have gave up, so many people could have quit, so many people would have left the game of basketball, but you figured out through your journey that you love this thing called basketball, and you decided to dedicate, part of your life to it. And so I'm super proud of you. I appreciate you for coming on here and just letting people know a little bit about your story and who you are. You can own that as a Division I athlete who started at a school that didn't work out for her, that went JUCO, from going JUCO, not really playing, and then working your way up, like you saying, and then that one game that you had, and then having a breakout game, and then getting like offers out the back just because you stayed the course. You stayed focused. You made sure in the process that you were doing the work. And when it was time to show the work that you was doing, it showed up. And that's why you are where you are now. So we appreciate you for being on Beyond the Box Score.
yeah, I don't know you too much, but I'm proud of you. The way you talk, you're very confident. You know what you're talking about. You didn't I don't know, it's something about you that kinda just like, man, this person right here is gonna have a bright future. And whatever it is that you wanna be, because you seem like you're very disciplined, you're very dedicated to whatever it is that you want. You're humble. I can tell that you're a bucket. I can tell that you can actually lead the team, but you didn't come off with this cocky attitude in any type of way. Everything that you talked about was almost about like preparation and being prepared and having the right habits to get you there. You
Mhm.
didn't let sitting the bench or having to leave from a different school deter you in any type of way. You stayed level headed, you kept your eyes on the prize, and you got to where you wanted. One thing that really stood out when I asked you that question, you said, I think just I believed in myself. It wasn't about you hear a lot of people like, man, this person didn't believe in me, so I had to prove them wrong. Like it wasn't nothing about anything else besides like I knew that I could do it and I'm about to set my mind to it and go do it. So having that mindset, if it's through basketball or whatever you're gonna do in the future, I know for a fact that you're gonna be successful in it. Uh,
Thank you.
Continue doing that and keep moving forward, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is Beyond the Box Score, where players learn the game, learn the mindset, and learn the truth behind the scenes in the work. We out.
Yeah, man.
That was